What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and A. This title might have you excited, and it probably should. Yes, I tried shrooms again. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do. Also, don't forget to get your hands on some Goblin merch, ladies and gentlemen. What are you waiting on? New merch drop is live, high quality stuff, fast shipping, we got it all. Come get yourself some Goblin merch. Thank you guys for the support on that. I really do appreciate it. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheGBLN on Instagram and at TheGoblin on Twitter. Without further ado, let's dive right into this. So, in today's video, we're talking about the time that I did shrooms again, which was actually a few days ago because I just got back from LA. Now, this video was originally going to be the part 2 of my acid trip in Chicago story, but I just had to tell this one. I knew that this one was it was hot. It was ready to rumble. It was ready to go. So I knew that this one had to be told. So hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. So, as some of you guys may be aware, I just went to LA again. From the 16th to the 19th, I was in LA. The reason I was out there was I was actually filming another podcast episode with Yola, and this time around, I linked up with Eric Kahn as well. So the three of us, we filmed a podcast episode together. If you guys are excited for that, the link to Yola's podcast channel will be in the description below, as well as the link to Eric's channel. If you guys want to go check them out, do whatever, show some love, but be ready for that podcast episode, because it's going to be super duper hype. But I landed on the 16th, and of course, I brought Ashley, the Miss Goblin, with me, right? I brought Ashley with me. So, Ashley and I, we fly in, and we dip out of the airport on that Monday that we got there. Now, prior to landing, I'd already texted Yola earlier in the day, and I'd asked a little favor of him. I hit him up, and I was like, yo, dude, do you by chance have any weed I can grab? Because when I land, I'm going to be dry, and all the dispos are going to be closed by the time I get to my hotel and get situated, you know? He says, yeah, no problem, say less. So, the only reason I'm even including this part is just so you guys understand where I got my weed from, right? So, I link up with Yola later that night after I get situated at my hotel. He comes and he picks us up. We go and we take some dabs at his spot and kind of smoke up a little bit. He hooks me up with some fire, boys. I had 4 different strains. I had carbon fiber, which was probably my favorite of the 4. I had animal mints. I had KMZ, which was a cross, of Kush mints and Skittles. Skittles, I don't know, bro. It's the Skittles with the Z. And then I also had Sunset, how do I say this? Baccio, I don't know, bro, some fire shit. But either way, it was all fantastic weed. So he gets me right with this. Shout out to Yola, hospitable guy, just the homie right there, right? Gets me right on that. I go back to the hotel. Wanted to get that part out of the way quickly so you guys know where the weed came from. Now, let's get on to the fun part. So the following day, Tuesday, you know, Ashley and I, we just kind of spend the day together. We don't really do anything. And I've kind of mentioned in the past that I wouldn't really go out of my way to, like, do shrooms. Like, I wouldn't go sit down and, like, get shrooms or, like, hit people up and start looking for them. But if the opportunity ever arose, I would be super open to doing it again. And as you guys could probably guess, the opportunity arose. So Wednesday rolls around, and Yola comes, and he picks us up, right? And we have some plans for the day. We're getting ready to film. We're kind of discussing what we're going to do. I'm kind of riding with him, doing a couple errands. You know, we ended up stopping into a dispensary, you know, taking a little tour of that dispensary, and it was dope. And while I'm in this dispensary, we got the full tour, man. Just, if you guys go to my Instagram, there's a couple pictures from the tour. It was a really cool thing to see. So much weed, boys. I've never been in a room with that much weed in my life. I'll throw some pictures on the screen at some point for you guys to see. But, oh my God, go to my Instagram if you want to see the full catalog of pictures from this. Because, oh my God, boys, it was fantastic. But we're going through this, and, you know, as we're doing this dispensary tour, we're chilling there, and I'm kind of waiting. You know, Yola, myself, and Ashley, we're all sitting, just kind of waiting for the ball to get rolling on this tour. And shroom chocolate bars are brought up. Now, normally, I wouldn't go out and buy shroom chocolate bars, but these are from someone that Yola trusted quite a bit. I trust this person. If Yola trusts him, you know, I trust his opinion. So I get offered one. You know, he's kind of talking about these chocolate bars, and I'm like, oh, you know, that's cool. I've only done shrooms one time, actually. You know, I mentioned that. And he's like, oh, you know, do you want a shroom bar? Like, do you want one? I'm sitting there, and I don't even think about it. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. Like, if I don't eat this today, I'll for sure save it and eat it. Like, absolutely. Sounds like a blast. He gives me the shroom bar. I'm like, my man, you're just a fucking homie. You're just a beast. Thank you, right? So, I get through the rest of the dispensary, kind of get this part of the story out of the way so we can get to the juicy part here. Just kind of giving some background detail to what we did in L.A. After that, Yola, myself, and Ashley, we stopped at this little food truck. We hit his warehouse to kind of, smoke up a little bit and just discuss and prep for the episode a little bit. We even we made a Home Depot run and got a mini fridge. Dude, we drove to Home Depot, got a mini fridge. It was a hoot. But either way, we get all that out of the way. Filmed the podcast that night. I met Eric for the first time. Super cool guy. Shout out to him. Shroom bar had still not been consumed. Mind you, I fly out of LA the following day. So the next day rolls around. Well, actually, no. Let's back it up a little bit. After we film the podcast, we get done filming and it's like 2 a.m. I fly out at 8:22 a.m. is my takeoff time, which means that they start boarding at like 7:45, 7:50, which translates to I've got to be at LAX, or I've got to be at least up and ready and leaving my hotel by 5 a.m. because LA traffic is no joke no matter what time of day it is. Of course, Ashley and I, we go back to the hotel. We smoke an ungodly amount of weed. We smoke up all night long. And of course, we pass out. We tried so hard to stay up. But we pass out, wake up, and it is like 6:45 in the morning. We're not packed. We're not showered. We're not dressed. We're not ready to go. And we realize very quickly that we're not making our flights. There's no chance in hell that either of us are making it. Just no way, right? So I'm sitting in this hotel and I'm kind of panicking a little bit because I've only missed a flight like one time and it was a layover, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But in this scenario, I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, the flight's going to be a pain in the ass. Like, I already know, like, I'm going to get some fucked up layover and be stuck at this airport and have nothing to do. And, Ashley, she's calming me down. I get a little worked up sometimes. I get a little anxious a little easily. So, she's calming me down. We chill out a little bit. We're like, listen, let's just go to the airport and figure it out. Now, we were kind of dumb about it, and we really should have stayed back at the hotel until checkout time and then gone to the airport, knowing we already missed our flight. But we were panicking. We were running on like 2 hours of sleep because I don't know what woke us up, but we woke up like 2 hours after passing out, right? Because we were up pretty late smoking and kind of chilling, So we wake back up. And we get ready, we throw all our shit in the bag, we get as much shit together as we can, and we dip out of our hotel. We catch an Uber over to LAX, and the only thing we've got left at this point is the Shroom chocolate bar. And Ashley's got it in her purse as we're going through TSA, right? Actually, no, she didn't have it in her purse. I take that back. Normally, she's my little smuggler, so I forgot where I had put it. I took it out of the case, or not the case, the wrap, because obviously that gives away what it is. And I put it inside some random little baggie, I think it was a bag that a mask came in. I just threw it in a bag in my duffel, and off we went, right? But either way, we get to the airport, and we go to the check-in and realize that we've got to book new flights. Now, prior to this day, I've never flown Spirit, and let me tell you right now, I will never fly Spirit again, but we'll get to that in a little bit, right? So we get into this airport, and we get through TSA, and the earliest flights we could get that didn't have absurd layovers were 4.5 hours away, right? So we had almost 5 hours to blow in this airport. We go to the first bar we can find in our terminal, and it's like 9 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning maybe. And oh my God, everyone's getting lit, dude. I don't know what it is. Everyone drinks at the morning at the airport. It's the only place where it's socially acceptable to get drunk at 8 a.m. But my God, the LAX airport drunks, they take it to the next level. It's I shit you not even 9 a.m. yet. These guys are shouting, woo, let's get wasted. They're getting lit up in this bar, dude. I'm like, damn, bro, you're hype about paying $20 per shot? Like, that's fire, I guess, But Ashley and I were sitting at our table, kind of just killing time, having some drinks. And for some reason, this bar couldn't make me a mojito. They have no menus. I'm just like, yo, just make me 2 white rum mojitos. Simple enough. They can't do it. I'm like, okay, 2 vodka cranberries. A simple, basic-ass drink. They can bust that one out for sure. So we get our vodka cranberries, go back to our little table we were sitting at because the bar only had like 4 seats. And of course, they were all being hogged, So we go sit at a table. And we're chilling. The weakest vodka cranberries I've ever drank. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, this just ain't doing it for me. And I'm not trying to get taxed. So I look to Ashley and I ask her, I'm like, you want to eat some of this Shroom bar? And to my surprise, she was down as fuck. She's only done shrooms like one time, and it was back in high school. And I'd only done shrooms one time. So I told her, I said, listen, if anything goes bad, I can't trip sit you because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing either. I've only done this once, right? So we agree, hey, let's just microdose in the airport, and then I'll bring the rest home with me and trip that night once I get home, which is exactly what I did. We'll get to that. So we end up microdosing a little bit in the airport. We each eat a couple cubes off this chocolate bar, and it's broken into pretty small cubes. So we broke it up, and the total bar was like, what? I think it was 2.5 grams of shrooms in the whole bar. So a really good dose, you know? And even with the microdose broken off, I still ended up eating close to a 2-gram dose that night and having a good fucking time, right? So either way, we're sitting there, and we each eat just a couple cubes off this chocolate bar. A light dose, and, you know, nothing visual ever comes out of it. I think she felt it a little harder than I did, because she was sitting there, and she was like, wow, I feel it. And I was sitting there, and I was like, well, my mood's kind of uplifted, but I don't feel like I'm tripping or anything. But, yeah, I feel this little kind of vibrance, I guess you could say. I feel pretty lit right now. So her and I are sitting there, and we go over to the terminal. You know, we're kind of sitting there, and you know, it's got us a little emotional. You know, she's like sad, she's going home. She's like, her eyes are watery and shit. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, your eyes are watery. Now I'm getting a little emotional here. We gotta chill. I'm not even tripping yet. You know, like I'm just feeling the emotional effects of the microdose. You know, so. We're chilling, waiting for our flights, lightly buzzed off our single vodka cranberries that were extremely weak. I wouldn't even say buzzed. I would just say I felt an impact, I guess is the better way to put it. So finally, we catch our flights, and I get on my flight, right? I'm flying Spirit. Boys, let me tell you right now, brutal scenes on Spirit. I've never flown Spirit before. The tray tables aren't even big enough to hold your cell phone, okay? Let alone a bottle of water or a cup. They drive, they push around the carts, and they ask if you would like to buy snacks or drinks. That's right. Let's drink my free bottle of water right here. Cheers, guys. Oh, fuck yeah. That's free hydration right there, dude. Unlike Spirit Airlines, they don't give you free shit, dude. It costs $60 to check a bag, all right? Since I booked a same-day flight, I already paid $200 for the ticket. Oh, now I'm rambling. They got me going, all right? The tray table is fucked. The seats, I don't know whose idea these seats were. It's like they gutted all the cushions out and flipped them to like a junkyard or sold them on Craigslist. And then just put leather over, like, the metal remains of the seat and called it an airplane seat. It's so shitty. The armrests are non-existent and flaccid, okay? They don't stay in position. Oh, don't get me started. I thought we were going to die. Very old, outdated airplanes. No, dude, don't. No. Oh, I'm never flying Spirit again. The crying children, Woo! And because of that little microdose, guess who wasn't really sleeping the flight back? Your boy. So I had to endure the whole thing. But let's get to the fun part. So I get home, right? I land. I Uber back to my house. All's fine and dandy. And I still have the rest of this chocolate bar, which is probably close to 2 grams. I eat a few cubes of it, and I decide to go live. Shout out to all you guys who were there for the live stream. If you guys were there to the very end, you might remember that shit hit me like a truck. I was sitting on my live stream, and prior to going live, I'd eaten maybe like another quarter of the bar, you know, so enough to really get the hoots going. And I'd planned on tripping this night, but I think I planned to kind of ease myself into it more than I really did, because once I went live, you know, I had some drinks. I drank a little bit, so I had a buzz going, and I just smacked the rest of this candy bar like it was a snack, this chocolate bar. I was sitting there, and I was like, you know what? Let's just eat the rest of this shit right now. So we smack on this, and I ended up streaming for only about an hour and a half, because I finished it off about, I'd say, 40-45 minutes into the stream. That last 3 to 5 minutes was me sitting there staring at my screen trying to comprehend whether I was tripping or not. Because I took a fairly light dose, to be fair. Probably not even 2 grams, okay? I was not getting, like, the crazy visuals that I did my first trip. You know, and I think it's kind of interesting to compare how my first trip went compared to this one. Because this one was much lighter, much more short-lived, and I really just kind of sat in bed watching YouTube videos and playing video games. Because I didn't have a plan. I wasn't with anyone. I was just chilling at home, you know? So I'm sitting there, and I remember I end my stream, and I walk over to Cody's room, and I'm like, bro, I'm fucking tripping. And he's sitting there and he just laughs. And I go back to my room and I'm sitting in bed. I remember I turned my TV on and I'm sitting there vibing. And the visuals aren't very intense. There's a slight, almost like wiggle to everything I look at, but very subtle. Almost as if like, I don't know, as if everything was just slightly moving, but not really. No distortion of shapes, no new colors, no patterns over things like I would see on acid. A much more monotone visual experience, but the emotional experience, oh my God, dude. It made me want to just talk, bro. I don't know what I felt so outgoing, almost like I was on Molly, bro. I just couldn't shut the fuck up. I was hitting up my homies, dude. I was on Discord with the homies, chatting with people. I was asking everyone if they wanted to play games, even though it was like fucking 2 a.m. on like a work night, dude. I didn't give a fuck. I was hitting everyone up, dude. I was just sitting in my bed enjoying myself. And it was really that kind of like inner like peace that I felt that I really liked a lot and made me realize like, hey, I need to fuck with shrooms a lot more and actually take a real trip dose, like a 3-gram dose, and see where it takes me. Because, you know, I was a little nervous when I got handed the chocolate bar because of my experience with my first trip. For those of you guys who might be new around here, on my first shroom trip, I ate like almost 4 grams and had such an intense visual experience. It got so nauseous. And this time around, the visuals were very mellow. The emotional effect was really nice. I felt really good. Like the vibes were just there, dude. And I definitely understand why a lot of my friends in high school and even nowadays like going shrooming. Like I definitely, I enjoy it. And I could see myself trying to combine acid and shrooms one day too. This really opened me up to more potential psychedelic use, honestly. Like sitting here after this very light trip, I just had such a good time. I didn't need any help falling asleep. There was no point where I was like, man, I had a bad time. Sure, it was shorter lived. I stayed up till about 6 in the morning when the sun came up, and then I kind of smoked a little bit. And what I found very interesting was the weed. I kind of expected to have almost a similar effect to when I'm tripping on acid, where it would make me trip harder. But that's like not really what happened. It actually mellowed me out even more. You know, I remember I was sitting there, and it was like 5 a.m., and I sent some long-ass text to my girlfriend, dude. I don't know, it was just a shroom text, bro. I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about, but I sent some emotional-ass shroom shit to her. And then I'm sitting there, and I just ripped a couple bowls in bed. I was enjoying myself. I was watching Crime 360 on my TV, so intrigued by all the cases, and I ended up just kind of dozing off. You know, I actually started to feel tired, which caught me off guard because I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting like, oh, I'm going to be wired for a while. It's going to be kind of like, you know, my last time tripping on shrooms. It really took me a while to calm down. But no, the come down was so smooth that I didn't even really notice it, dude. Granted, I wasn't tripping very intensely, but still, it was a blast, dude. And I loved that inner, like, just that vibe that I had going, bro. I was sitting in my bedroom doing nothing but watching, like, rerun TV shows and just having the most content, peaceful time of my life. It was fantastic, and I think it's safe to say that you guys can definitely expect more shroom videos in the near future. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Shout out to Yola and Eric. Get ready for our podcast episode together tomorrow, actually. If you guys are hearing this on Monday, then, I mean, cool, dude. It comes out on Monday, today, the 23rd. Get ready for it. Check the description for more links. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, gamers.